Oh, God is so good. He just can't wait to bless. He called us and bless us. That's quite easy to do whatever you want to do. Remember, you can always shape it anyhow. Whichever way you want to shape your tree, you can always shape it. It's all up to you. You can put one layer on top of another. For example, I take this and copy and paste it on top of that. And when I do that, I can just kind of like do it like that just to give it an effect. And just take a look at what that looks like. You might like it, and if you do, then you leave it. See? Okay, we need to remove the stroke on that because that just doesn't look good with the stroke on. So all of these things will depend on whichever way you want to do it. You select that shape tool to select the color, and you can take the stroke on this off. Or actually, it's from the effects there. From the shading effect, the shaded effect, you can take that to none. Alright. And if you still have stroke on it, you can remove this. You can remove the stroke with line exposure or with the height stroke tool, which you can just click around it like that, and that will take off the stroke completely. You don't really need the stroke on leaves if you're drawing leaves. Let's take a look at that preview. See, that looks better, but I need to put the shading. When I put the shading, I think it will look even better. Okay, so we close the preview again, and now we can take this and go ahead and put an effect on it, like soft edge. Okay, that's fine like that. And we can do a second one and call it shaded. Alright, and we can leave it like that and preview that again and see what that looks like. Remember, what we're doing right now is compositing. Okay, so, and because the tree is going to be a little far too, so that slushy effect, or that soft effect around the leaves actually makes sense. That's good. Many times when you're doing things like this, you will need to try your hands on all kinds of effects that are on in the software, so you can get something that's more desirous than what you ever thought of. Alright? Okay. You can take this one and reduce it also. And even whilst in there, you can change that color. Maybe just make it a lighter color by choosing the fill color, and you bring out the color menu layer or pop-up, and then you can change it just like that. And so when you preview that, you're going to get a different effect, which is even better. And you can make it, you can give it that same soft edge if you want, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into all that today. Okay, so we have a tree there, and you can call that layer tree, right? Now, one of the other good things about this software is you can always multiply that layer and increase them. You can take that shape, that whole tree, copy and paste it all over in this one layer, or as you will, which will be better for animation, will be to duplicate that layer and rearrange them in different places. For example, I've duplicated them just by clicking that duplicate button there, duplicate layer button, and now we have tree 2, tree 3. That is tree number 2 and tree number 3. And now you can just very easily, with this layer tool, transform layer tool, you can move layers. Okay, so now you have tree number 3 there, which is going to be the front layer. That's the one in front of all of them. You see that? You can see that very easily. Okay, and then we have number 2. You can move that aside also. You see that? Now this helps you again to work your perspective. Okay, so you know the one that is closest to you is usually the biggest. So you can go ahead and translate the bigger one, the one that is closest to you. Now you have a big tree right there. Okay, and the first one, which is the tree, the original tree, is the smallest. Now you can have the smallest tree like right there, and you can also just make it smaller, make it real small like that. Number 2, you can reduce that a little bit also, if you will, and just kind of move it around, play around with all of that, and to make your composition also a lot better. Now we want our umbrella to be in front of all of this, and we can always bring it to the front like that. The handle also kind of goes immediately with it. So our composition is actually looking better. We're getting better at it. We're almost looking like a pro right now. All right? So let's go ahead with our work. Now that we have our trees and we have our beach, the sand and the water, and we have the background, there we go, we have our beach. All right. Now, for what we're trying to emulate, we have our composition that we're trying to look like. So we have an umbrella, we have some figures there, and we have a bottle of Pepsi or a can of Pepsi. We have a ladder, we have straws, we have fruits, we have mats, and we're trying to emulate these things. Okay, so we even have a person in a boat right there in the sea. Oh wow. Okay, so now we have a tree. Okay, we already have a tree. Our tree is not coconut tree either, but it's a tree. We can go ahead and import every other thing that we need to. Like for instance, we can import figures, we can import ladder, we can import a Pepsi can, we can import anything that we want to import and just put them in our composition. So after we have done all that, what will be remaining for us to do is to do the animation that we want to do. So in this case, I already have figures that I can import, but for the sake of everybody else, we're going to construct or design a figure that we're going to use for the animation that will actually be moving in the animation, so that we don't get to go back and forth on that and asking questions. So we need to import our Pepsi can or any other can that we're going to use. So we go to Google. This is where I import figures or anything from that I want to use that's not my original drawing. Like the Pepsi thing, I think it's not even far from here. I can just go back. Yeah, here we go. This is where you download your Pepsi can from. When you're downloading pictures from the internet, make sure it's a PNG which has no backgrounds, no background color. Okay, that way you can use that thing by itself. Okay, in some cases you may have to do some cropping, which we'll go into later on, because if you look at my Pepsi in the picture, you will find out that it's a combination of two kinds of Pepsi. One that has a top and the other that does not have a top, because the one that has a top did not have, had a background which I would have to clean. So I just cleaned out everything there, but I wanted the one that didn't have a background but had a sweat, and that's what makes a difference. So I think I already have a Pepsi out there, and I can just very easily take a Pepsi from my file, in which case I can just go ahead and import from here, or image from here, or I do better still, when you go here, you can still import image from there, like we've done before, which makes it easier. And here we go, we have a Pepsi can right there. Okay, so our Pepsi is in, it's behind the umbrella. We want to bring it in front of the umbrella. Alright, just by dragging one layer on top of another, you can actually put anything anywhere. Alright, so now we're going to expand or enlarge, scale the Pepsi bigger just by selecting the layer tool or the transform layer tool. You can scale the Pepsi to be bigger than that. So now you have that. You have that Pepsi there, and the umbrella. Oh, okay, wait a minute. The Pepsi, we can move it, to somewhere around there. Cool. Just like that. It's getting better. Our composition is getting better, and you can preview it right here. Go into File, Preview, and you can see how far you have gone with your composition. In fact, you can bring this tree a little bit in front of this umbrella just to help you see again that you're working in a 3D space. Okay, just move it a little bit like so, and now you can bring it in front of the umbrella. That will look more beautiful. Let's preview that again. Voila, that is looking much better now. Okay, I think we're going to stop this animation right here, and the next time we meet, we're going to draw the figures that are coming into this animation. Alright, on this note, I'm going to say thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Hit like, hit subscribe, and there is more on the way. He goes.